It was supposed to be an ordinary night. Soft rain outside, the faint smell of jasmine in the air, and Emily humming a quiet tune while getting ready for her shower. Her phone lay charging beside the bed, the screen lighting up every few seconds from new messages. She didn't bother to check. But one notification, a voice note, popped up. And before she even touched it, her phone started recording, automatically. At first, she didn't even notice. But when she returned from the shower 10 minutes later, towel wrapped around her hair, something in the air felt wrong. The warmth of the room had turned cold, heavy, filled with a kind of silence that only hides guilt. She reached for her phone, and what she saw froze her blood. The red light on the recorder app was blinking. The phone had been recording the entire time. And then, she pressed play. Emily Johnson, a 27-year-old graphic designer, had been living with her boyfriend, Mark, for almost 2 years. Mark was charming, the kind of man who could make anyone laugh. The one who always remembered birthdays, always held doors open. To everyone, he was the perfect guy. But lately, something had changed. He had grown distant. He spent long hours at work. He would smile, but his eyes looked somewhere else, as if his mind was living another life. Emily didn't want to be that suspicious girlfriend. She trusted him. At least she wanted to. That night she came home early. She had planned a surprise dinner, candles, his favorite pasta, and a small gift she'd spent days choosing, a watch engraved with the words, "Forever Us." But when she walked in, the living room was dark. Only his voice came from the other room, soft, low, and not alone. Emily froze by the door. There was laughter, a woman's laughter. Her heart dropped. She didn't go in. Instead, she quietly placed her bag on the table, her fingers trembling. Her phone, still in her hand, slipped from her grip and landed softly on the couch. Screen down, but accidentally turning on the voice recorder. She whispered to herself, "Don't cry. Not yet." Trying to stay calm, Emily walked to the bathroom, heart pounding, her mind spinning with denial. Maybe it's his sister. Maybe it's work. Maybe it's nothing. But deep down she knew it wasn't nothing. After her shower, Emily came out to an empty apartment. The laughter was gone. The voices gone. Only the faint sound of rain remained. Her towel still dripping, she reached for her phone. The screen lit up. The red recording dot blinked. She frowned. "What the hell?" She pressed stop, hesitated for a second, then hit play. Mark's voice. "She doesn't suspect a thing. I told her I'm working late tonight." Unknown. Woman soft laugh. "You're such a liar." Mark. "Yeah, well, it's easier this way. She's sweet but too emotional. She wouldn't survive the truth." Woman. "And what's the truth, Mark?" Mark. Pause. "That I was never really with her for love." Emily's breath hitched. Her knees weakened. The phone almost slipped from her hands. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Mark, continuing, "She's the daughter of the guy who owns that marketing firm. I needed her to get in. That's it. Once the deal's done, I'm done too." Tears burned her eyes. The world around her blurred. The man she'd cooked for, dreamed with, loved, was using her. Her voice came out as a whisper. No, this can't be real." Emily sat on the floor, knees pulled to her chest. The room spun. Her phone replayed his voice again and again until she screamed, a raw, broken sound that filled the empty apartment. Then something changed in her eyes. The tears stopped. Her breathing slowed, and her whisper turned cold. "You want to play games, Mark? Let's play." She saved the recording. She backed it up to the cloud. And then she smiled, not out of happiness, but from a calm, quiet rage. The kind of smile that says, "I'm not broken. I'm awake." As the night grew darker, Emily opened her laptop and started typing. She wasn't just going to expose him. She was going to destroy everything he built, piece by piece. But what she didn't know was that Mark had secrets far darker than betrayal. And by pressing play, she had just stepped into a game far more dangerous than she could imagine. What do you think Emily should do next? Should she confront Mark or make him pay silently? Comment your answer below. Last night, Emily discovered her boyfriend's biggest secret. Her phone, accidentally left recording, had captured Mark's voice, and the voice of another woman. He wasn't just cheating, he was using her. For months, He had been pretending to love her, only to get close to her father's company. Now she knew the truth. But instead of crying herself to sleep, Emily sat awake all night, planning. Because sometimes, the quietest girl becomes the most dangerous one when she's been betrayed. The next morning, Mark came home as if nothing had happened. "Morning, babe," he said casually, placing a kiss on her forehead. "I had to stay late. You know how my job is." Emily forced a smile. "Yeah," she said softly. "I know exactly how your job is." Mark didn't notice her tone. He just walked into the shower, the same one she had used when everything changed. Emily's eyes followed him, blank and emotionless. The man she once loved now looked like a stranger, a liar wearing a mask. She picked up her phone, replayed his recorded words again, and whispered to herself, "You don't even realize you buried yourself, Mark." That day, she went to work as usual. No tears, no drama, just calm. Her father owned a marketing firm that had recently signed $1 million deal, a deal Mark had helped close. Or so everyone thought. What no one knew was that Mark had been secretly transferring company data to another corporation, her father's biggest rival. Emily decided to find proof. She hacked into his email, something she never thought she'd do, using the password she once set up for him, "Forever Us." The irony made her laugh bitterly. And there it was. Hundreds of emails, files, and money transactions, all leading back to one name, Victor Kane. Her father's ex-business partner turned enemy. Mark was feeding company secrets to Victor. He was a traitor, not just a cheater. Emily's hands trembled. She could have gone to the police right then, but that wasn't enough. "He didn't just break my heart," she whispered. "He broke my trust. And for that, he'll lose everything." That evening, Emily called Mark. Her voice was soft, almost sweet. "Hey, babe, I'm thinking of having dinner at the new rooftop restaurant tomorrow. You free?" Mark smiled, unaware of her tone hiding venom. "Of course, baby. You're full of surprises." Emily smiled back, but inside she was ice. "Oh, Mark, you have no idea." The next night, she wore the red dress he once said made her look like a dream. When she walked into the restaurant, heads turned, but she had only one person on her mind. Mark stood up, smiling. "Wow, you look amazing." Emily sat down gracefully. "Thanks. So do you. Let's order your favorite. Steak, right?" Dinner went on smoothly. Emily laughed, listened, nodded, pretending nothing had changed. But every moment she was recording. Hidden inside her purse was a small mic connected to her phone. She needed him to confess, and he did. As the night got darker and the wine glasses emptied, Emily leaned closer. "So, did you ever love me?" she asked softly, looking into his eyes. Mark froze for a second, then smiled slyly. "Come on, Emily, you're beautiful, smart. But love? That's just a word. I'm not really the forever kind of guy." "Then what was I?" "A good opportunity. You know your dad trusts you, and I needed that. Business, sweetheart. That's all." Her fingers tightened around the wine glass. Her pulse raced. But she smiled, even as her heart shattered again. "Business, got it." She quietly stopped the recorder in her purse. "Thank you, Mark. You just gave me everything I needed." He looked confused. "What do you mean?" Emily stood up. Her calm voice cut through the noise of the restaurant. "You'll find out tomorrow morning. Enjoy your last night as a free man." By sunrise, Emily had already sent the voice recordings, email evidence, and financial transactions to her father and his legal team. Within hours, Mark's access to company systems was revoked. By noon, the police were at his apartment. He was caught red-handed: fraud, corporate theft, identity manipulation. His smile was gone. His world collapsed. As the cops took him away, Emily stood across the street, watching. He saw her, eyes cold, calm, powerful. "You did this," he spat. She tilted her head slightly. "No, Mark, you did this to yourself." He shouted something, but she turned away before he could finish. For the first time in months, she felt free. That night, Emily sat by her window, looking out at the city lights. Her father called, telling her how proud he was, not just for saving the company, but for being brave enough to face the truth. She smiled faintly. "Thanks, Dad, I'm okay now." But deep inside, she knew she'd never be the same. When love turns into betrayal, Something inside you breaks, but sometimes what grows in its place is strength. Emily finally deleted all of Mark's photos, messages, and memories, except for one file, the original recording. She kept it as a reminder. Never ignore the silence. Sometimes it's the truth screaming at you. But Emily's story wasn't over. Because when she thought she had ended Mark's game, she didn't know there was a bigger secret waiting behind it. One that would make her question everything she believed. And it all starts when her phone rings again. The caller ID, private number. Who do you think is calling Emily now? Is it Mark, Victor, or someone else? Comment your theory below. Emily stared at the glowing phone screen. A private number. Her heart pounded. Mark was in jail. There was no way he could be calling. Right? She hesitated, then slowly answered. Hello? There was silence for 3 seconds. Then, a voice. Calm, deep, familiar. Miss Emily, this is Victor Kane. Her stomach twisted. Victor. The man who had been stealing from her father's company. The man Mark had worked for. You think this is over? Victor said coldly. You destroyed my deal and now you'll pay for it. Emily froze. What do you want? What's mine? And your father knows what that means. Before she could respond, the line went dead. Emily's hands shook as she lowered the phone. For a moment, she felt the old fear creeping back. The helplessness she used to feel when life went wrong. But then she looked at her reflection in the window. The same girl who once cried for Mark was now standing taller, calmer, stronger. No, she whispered. You don't scare me anymore. She called her father immediately. He sounded worried but composed. Emily, I need you to stay at the house. Don't go out tonight. We're handling Victor. The police are involved. But something in her gut told her. This wasn't just about business. Victor's voice had sounded too personal, too angry. Later that evening, Emily went through the files she had taken from Mark's old laptop, hoping to find anything related to Victor. Hidden inside a folder named Archive 7 was a set of videos. She opened one. It was a recording, Mark and Victor sitting in a car. The video was dated 2 months ago. Victor's voice came through clearly. Does she suspect anything? No, Mark replied, smirking. She's just a sweet girl. Totally in love. I've got her wrapped around my finger. Emily swallowed hard, fighting back tears. She had already heard worse, but this time something new caught her attention. Victor leaned closer in the video. Make sure she never finds out the truth about her mother. If she does, everything collapses. Her eyes widened. Her mother? Emily's mother had died when she was a child, or at least that's what her father always told her. What truth? She whispered, pausing the video. She ran to her father's study, where he was pacing on a business call. Dad, I need to ask you something, she said, breathless. He turned, surprised. Emily, can it wait? No, she said firmly. Did Mom really die in that car accident? He froze, the color drained from his face. What are you talking about? I heard Victor's voice. He said, don't let her find out the truth about her mother. What truth? Dad? For a moment, he said nothing. Then, with a sigh heavier than the world, he sat down. Emily, your mother didn't die in an accident, he said softly. She left. Emily blinked. What do you mean left? She was involved with Victor before you were born. We ended things when I found out she was helping him steal from my company. But after you were born, she disappeared. Tears filled Emily's eyes. So you lied to me? I wanted to protect you, he said. Victor used her. She was dangerous, Emily. I couldn't let him destroy your life, too. But it was too late. Victor already had. That night, the lights flickered in the mansion. A black SUV stopped outside. Emily's phone buzzed again. A message. Unknown number to come outside. If you want answers about your mother. Her father shouted, Don't! It's a trap! But Emily couldn't stop herself. She stepped into the cold night air. The SUV door opened and Victor Kane stepped out, older, sharper, and smiling. You're just like her, he said. Same eyes. Same fire. What do you want? Emily demanded. Your father's files. The ones Mark couldn't get. Then maybe I'll tell you where your mother is. Emily's chest tightened. You're lying. Am I? He said, pulling out a small photograph. A woman, alive, older, but familiar. It was her mother. Emily slowly pulled out her phone. "I'll give you the files," she said softly, walking closer. Victor's eyes glowed with greed. But what he didn't know, her phone was already recording. "You're making the same mistake as your boyfriend," she said. "What do you mean?" "Talking too much." In one motion, Emily sent the live recording to her father's security team, broadcasting Victor's threats, his confession, and everything he said about her mother. Suddenly, sirens blared in the distance. Victor turned in shock. "What did you do?" Emily smiled coldly. "You thought you were playing me. But the truth is, you've been on camera all along." Police cars surrounded the mansion. Victor was arrested on multiple charges: fraud, kidnapping threat, and corporate sabotage. Later, Emily finally learned that her mother had fled abroad years ago, trying to escape Victor's control. She was alive and waiting to reconnect. For the first time in years, Emily cried, not from pain, but from relief. Her father hugged her. "You've been through too much." She smiled faintly. "No, Dad, I've been through enough to finally know who I am." A week later, Emily deleted all the old recordings. Except one, the first one. The accidental shower recording that started it all. She listened one last time, then whispered to herself, "Sometimes the truth finds you when you're not even looking for it." And with that, she smiled, deleted the file, and walked into a new sunrise, free, fearless, and finally in control of her own story. Would you forgive someone who lied to protect you? Or would you want to know the truth no matter how painful it is? Comment your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful real-life stories like Emily's.